This is Robert Dowler, and I'm standing in for the lead author, Kamren Jefferson. Other co-authors for this research were Clint Perkins and Matthew Hamilton. We conducted research on spotted skunk rest site selection at the Katy Prairie near Houston, Texas, an area of modified coastal prairie dominated by grassland species, but including 2 bramble species. The native southern dewberry can be dense, as shown here, but is short in height. The introduced and invasive species, Macartney Rose, can be impenetrable in places and reaches heights over 2 meters. We hypothesized that 5 biological factors would affect rest site selection of plains spotted skunks, including cover availability, predator avoidance, access to water and forage, and distance to roads. From 2019 to 2021, we fitted 30 skunks, 17 males and 13 females, with GPS radio collars and tracked them weekly to diurnal rest sites. We compared habitat characteristics of 426 rest sites with random paired sites. We used discrete choice modeling and an AICc model selection framework to fit and evaluate support for our a priori models. 75% of rest sites were located in Macartney Rose shrubs, followed by southern dewberry at 14%. More than half of the rest sites used by skunks were in small Macartney Rose brambles, meaning that they measured less than 1 meter tall. The top performing model was our cover 1 model that included all of the variables related to our cover hypothesis. When we tested the predictiveness of our top model, we found that 80% of the time, the cover 1 model was successful in predicting if a rest site would be selected by a plains spotted skunk. In examining the variables in the cover 1 model that influence rest site selection, we found that relative to Macartney Rose, the odds of a skunk selecting for southern dewberry as the overhead cover was approximately 5-fold greater, contrary to the predicted positive influence of Macartney Rose as overhead cover. In summary, similar to other studies, we found that cover is an important component to the rest site selection of plains spotted skunks, but southern dewberry and Macartney Rose were our primary sources of cover. Both of these bramble species can help conceal skunks from predators, exclude sunlight, and provide shade during the summer. However, we were surprised to find that relative to Macartney Rose, there was stronger selection for southern dewberry. The explanation for this preference may be that skunks prefer the denser cover of southern dewberry brambles compared with the more open and accessible areas under large Macartney Rose. Our results suggest that plains spotted skunks may be limited in their rest site selection by the exclusion of native plants by more prolific invasive species such as Macartney Rose. We thank the Texas Comptroller's Office for funding.